Why is there a monkey? Anybody know? Why is there a Port St. Louis monkey with an eye patch? I don't know.
It's a pirate monkey. They're leaning into the pirate miniature golf aesthetic. And, monkeys, that goes hand in hand. Every pirate needs a one-eyed monkey, I guess. One of our favorite reoccurring subjects here on Morning Kickaround is new stadium renderings. And the projects are being proposed. And we talked earlier in the week about all the activity in Florida. There's already a lot of pro teams and a lot coming down the pipeline. And one of those teams and one of those projects looking to hit the field very soon is Port St. Lucie. And this is on the Atlantic side, north of Miami. Quite some way south of the Space Coast, as we learned earlier in the week as well. And we have new renderings. We have renderings on this project in Port St. Lucie.
So there is a video here. We're not going to play the audio because I think that's usually what gets us in trouble. But you will see this. Hopefully we won't have any issues with copyrights or whatever. Port St. Lucie people, leave us alone. I don't know. There are also renderings. But let's watch this video first, Rob, and see what they've got going.
What can we glean from this, huh? Oh, that looks like is that real footage?
It's a stage. Oh, somebody's graduating, and then there's a concert with a real band. That's a real band.
That looked like Creed or something.
All right, so there's the renderings. There's the stadium. We're getting a fake drone sort of flyover of the Port St. Lucie facility. There's the logo. We talked about the logo a little bit on the show with the anchor element because it's pirate country, I guess, or just the maritime element. All right, so that is that's the video. It is AI, as Marcus was saying in the chat. A lot of it's AI. There's some stuff in there though that we can look at. Okay, so here's from the Instagram page for Port St. Lucie SC. Still shots. These are still, renderings. They're obviously nothing real here. What do we make of this, Rob, as we look at it here? What stands out to you as we look at these images?
Well, if we look at the image on the right, it seems to be following suit with this USL level design, kind of a U-shape open end for mixed use. And imagine that super rockin' band would go at the end here under the scoreboard. And then it allows the possibility of an expansion to put a bigger stand there. I see Zach saying that's very whelming, but I don't know if we want to get to this, if we want to focus strictly on these renderings, if we want to go into the information that's not necessarily included on the website here.
What information? Oh, well, maybe we'll get to that in a second. I do want to go through the renderings before we. I don't know what information. Did you prep me for extra information? There's extra information?
No, it's the information that's not there. Is my point.
I'm confused. I'm very confused. What do you say?
Let's go on. Let's talk renderings.
All right. So first of all, is that score video board? Is that two-sided? Are you going to be able to watch Is that okay? That would be wild. All right, here we have like the shopping area, I guess, the team store. It's interesting that they're going. The plants are very. And look, it's Florida. It's lush. I get it, but it kind of gives it a. I don't know. Like it gives it like a kind of a bougie mercado kind of vibe. I don't know if you guys have these in Michigan. They're like popping up everywhere. These sort of indoor, outdoor, shopping areas.
It's the next ghost developments in the next 10, 15 years, probably.
Yeah. Why is there a monkey? Anybody know? Why is there a Port St. Louis monkey with an eye patch? I don't know.
It's a pirate monkey. They're leaning into the pirate miniature golf aesthetic. And, monkeys, that goes hand in hand. Every pirate needs a one-eyed monkey, I guess.
So here we go. You can see some of this on the right. You can see some of the seats below. Again, this sort of like, look, even the concession stands are like
covered in greenery.
Yeah, it's like I'm out at the food hall get to watch the soccer game. I mean, I guess it's okay. I'm not saying it's not nice on some level.
It looks cool. I mean, like if it actually turned out to be that. But yeah, a lot of greenery everywhere. There's imagine the plant watering bill they got going on here.
Yeah. Okay. Here we have a bar situation, and this guy, I don't know if he's celebrating a goal, if he's ordering a shot. I don't know what's going on there.
Who says I'm too drunk for another drink? He says. Who are you to cut me off?
They cut me off at the Port St. Lucie game. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, they're not bad. I mean, for that place and that team, if they do build it. Now, you said there's information that's not included on the website. What is that?
Anything about how it's being funded, how it's being built, any sort of like tangible information. It's just kind of like pontifications that this is more of a stadium. It's a living space designed to become part of everyday life in Port St. Lucie, a destination where sports, entertainment, and community come together. And there's really like a whole lot of hardcore information. I take that back. One part of that, there isn't a lot of tangible information. But it does mention that this will be part of the Walton and One development, which is creating an environment where people can spend their entire day together. And it also is taking ticket deposits for a start in 2027, which, according to my calculations, is only like 6 to 9 months away to the start of a USL season. So my skepticism level is high based on, computer generated renderings and video, but not a lot of like solid IRL sort of information.
Yeah, there is sort of okay, exactly how is this all coming together? Thank you to Wes, by the way, who was pointing out that Port St. Lucie is home to Save the Chimps, one of the largest privately funded chimpanzee sanctuaries. Hence our monkey friend in our renderings, I think. That makes sense. Thank you, Wes. That's good information. That's why the ultras, that's why we do this show live, so you guys can add to the show and give us that kind of stuff. I hope it gets built. I mean, again, just in the general sense that it'd be good for soccer. I always worry about, again, the motivations behind it. But this is why we talk about Dot the Map. We kind of have to let that part go a little bit.
Which part?
The part about why and where and sort of like what the incentives are for the people investing in this? Like, just like I talked about Homestead, right? If Homestead, Florida is getting a soccer stadium and Miami FC is going to get a soccer stadium that hopefully they can fill up, and that ultimately leads to a better Miami FC and better soccer in that part of Florida, then should I look too closely about why it's happening? Should I be skeptical of the money and where it's coming from and who's spending it? Again, we talked about real estate plays. Like, so much of this is about real estate. Is that ultimately a bad thing? If it means more soccer teams, if it means more soccer stadiums, if it means the culture improves, because people now, and I talk about this a lot, have a place to identify with the soccer team. It is roots in the ground. It's not just this, there's a soccer team where they play down at the high school. No, this is roots in the ground. That's why Detroit is building a soccer stadium, so they can be a permanent fixture in the community. Like, they've been around long enough that people shouldn't take they should realize DCFC is not going anywhere, but until they get their own building and they control it and it's their joint, it says Detroit City FC on the side of the building, people are going to go, yeah, I don't know. They might fold next year. So, I'm trying not to be too precious about why this is happening, even though we know some of the background, some of the reason. It's a lifestyle destination? Is that what it was?
A lifestyle destination that we can share memories and spend the whole day together. And Wes Henderson, one of our dedicated MK Ultras, welcome back into the fold. He says he knows folks involved in this, and yes, any information that you can glean about this, we would love to know. And to be fair, there has been real world work on this. We know that the city council approved it, and there is one sentence saying that this is privately funded, so there may well be a big money backer pushing for this. And I know that comments on stories are often forgive the terminology, but Karens that like to argue or push back. And because a lot of stories leading up to the World Cup from host people, or people like, this is going to be crazy, this is going to be too much of my town, and now those same people are saying, oh, it was a great time, I'm so glad they came. So sure. Like, I don't know what we've seen. I don't know what the public push for this is, but we'd love to know more. So any information, Wes, you can glean from this, we would love to know.
I also recognize that in a lot of these cases, you might have money that is not necessarily soccer first, that their interest in it is the real estate or something else. But there are always good soccer people that get attached to these projects. And that's, obviously we want to acknowledge that there are plenty of soccer people who feel like these things are the right things to get behind.